Charlie Bonding here with UCCS Athletics, here with head coach Jeff Culver of your UCCS men's basketball team. Now, Coach, last weekend you guys headed up to Texas. You played some pretty tough teams in Texas, Permian Basin, and Tarleton State. Really, how'd this weekend go?
It was a great learning experience for us. I thought Friday, it was a process. I could tell we were sorting through. It was a difficult scout for us. We didn't really know anything about them heading into the game, and I thought we sort of figured some things out as we went. Slow start, and once we got into things, we made a great game of it and just lost a close one. Didn't shoot the ball very well, missed a lot of free throws, missed a lot of open shots. And then Friday, another slow start, which was concerning, but after the slow start, our guys realized what tempo we had to play at. Tarleton's a great team. I think they're preseason number 10, but they're always there in the top 10 of the nation. And I thought we went toe-to-toe with them for the rest of the game, and that's the best we've played against Tarleton. So that's a great sign, and I thought our young guys jumped in and made some great strides between day one and day two. So now we're just going to try to make some strides here this week every day and heading into Friday's match.
And just looking more at this weekend, Justin Smith had 23 points in the first game, and then against Tarleton State, you guys were leading at the half. And just for the fans, really, how is the fans at Tarleton State? How is that crowd, and how's the emotion? How did you guys handle that?
Yeah, that was a great crowd. It's always, Friday night's a neutral game and nobody's in the crowd, and then Saturday night it's the home game for Tarleton, and they pack it, and they do a great job with their cheer teams and dance teams and the cowboys and cowgirls and I don't know, all the different fanfare that they have and the band, and so it's a fun environment to play in, and I thought our guys handled themselves well, maintained good focus throughout, and in a hostile environment. So it was it's always more fun, when you got some crowd. I think our guys would always prefer to have a loud crowd, even if it is on the road, as opposed to an empty gym in a neutral game.
And you guys are back on the road this weekend, only one game this weekend against CSU Pueblo. So just knowing that this is an RMAC conference team and looking at that and that Steel and Silver Classic rivalry, really, what is the factors going into this game?
Yeah, anytime you play a conference opponent, it's a big deal. Even though this won't technically be a conference game, it's a great region game for us and a great sneak peek at one of the top teams in our conference. So we lost a close game in overtime last year at Pueblo. That's still fresh in our mind. They're a good team. They dropped a couple this weekend as well, but against two very good teams. They shoot the ball very well. They've got one of the better bigs in our conference down low, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So it'll be a good check-in for us to see where we're at in the conference, and also to see if we've progressed from this last weekend.
And then just looking at this whole week, you guys have a couple of practices, early morning practices. What have you guys been focusing on in practice, and still trying to get the team gelling?
Yeah, sure. It's still about us right now this season. We got a lot to work on, and so we're watching a lot of film from this last weekend and trying to make some adjustments and trying to learn from our mistakes and get better every day. So there's that going on, and then at the same time, we're working on some things that we'll see from Pueblo on Friday and trying to address that and be ready for that.
And just looking at this team, it's still a young team. We talked a little bit about, last week about intermixing and just getting these young guys going, and especially going on the road. Do you think that helps them more going on the road and, just putting them kind of in the fire?
That's the thought process. I mean, we're on the road for the first 4 games and facing good Division II opponents, and we're hoping that through this process, this preseason non-conference stuff, that we find ourselves, that we're really starting to establish roles. I thought all of our new guys did well this last weekend. You mentioned Justin and our 2 freshmen played like seasoned returners. So that's a good sign, and I think we're going to keep getting better. And it is a process, though, so especially offensively. I thought defensively against Tarleton, we played outstanding. We held them to under 40% shooting, even though we turned it over a bunch and beat them on the board. So, the defense needs to continue to be a strength to keep us in ball games as the offense is figuring things out, and with some new faces and new guys stepping into new roles, we knew the offense would take a little bit longer, but we're hoping to hit some of those open shots we've been missing and looking to be a little bit more efficient and certainly take care of the ball better.
And with UCCS the past couple of years, their identity has been, a defensive team, very, good shooters, like to run. What's the identity, talking about these new faces and new players, what is really the identity you're trying to establish?
Well, you're very kind, because I would say we were probably more of an offensive team these last few years, although I think we were pretty solid defensively. I think we have a chance to be better than solid defensively with this team. I think we've got a little bit of special in us on the defensive end. We'll see how long it takes to get there, but I think we'll be able to do some different things from a pressure standpoint defensively this season than we have in the last 4 years. And offensively, what we've been hanging our hat on over the years past is passing on good to get great, and passing and sharing the ball with open teammates. And our assist to turnover ratio needs to flip, from what it was this last weekend. So I think that's a big key for us to establish our identity on the offensive end, is just get back to sharing the ball more. We sort of took some bad shots, forced the issue a little bit this last weekend. And when we're moving the ball and we got 5 guys working together on the offensive end, that's when our motion looks good, and that's when I think we're at our best.
And just looking more at this weekend against CSU Pueblo, what's going to be the biggest factor to get that W?
Well, with Pueblo, you can't let them shoot too many open threes. You really got to take away the open threes for them. They got so many shooters, and they base a lot of their offense around getting shooters good looks. In their starting lineup, they've got 2 of the better shooters in our conference. And then you add to it that they got a big down low that I think had 40 at least on us last year. And he's back. So, we got to figure out how to defend him without having to leave shooters. And we certainly can't give up any open looks. So taking away the open threes and really trying to minimize Nelson's looks down low and give him some different looks defensively to make it more difficult than we did last year against them.
Well, there you have it. Head coach Jeff Culver of your UCCS men's basketball team heading to CSU Pueblo this weekend. Coach, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.